And when the politicians speak, my here is a man kadem. I want to add my voice to the welcome which has been expressed by the mayor and everybody here. You spoke about the year of return. The year is already ended. But what has it taught us? And what has it brought to us? If we talk about year, it means 2019 is already gone. What follows after 2019? I think that's the most important question we have to ask ourselves. Did the president just pronounce 2019 as year of return just for pronouncement sake? I think the challenge is how we make 2019 a reality. A reality in the sense that what we are doing is all paperwork. How does this permeate to the ordinary person in the street? How does this relationship, what we are signing, benefit the ordinary person? Not necessarily in Cape Coast, but in the village. Yes, we have come to sign. Yeah. So what does it mean to the ordinary person? And it can only happen when the two of us come together, exchange ideas, not just ideas for changing ideas, but ideas which will be beneficial to all of us. We learn from you, you learn from us. After all, but for circumstances beyond our control, we shouldn't be living miles apart. We should all be living here. Unfortunately, this is how we find ourselves. So how do we make sure that we come together, bond together, work together, and make us feel that we are all one people? And I think this is the beginning with New Orleans and Cape Coast. Let us not just put pen to paper, but let us work together to make this a reality, for people to know that you're traveling here, June, July, whatever we come there. That should not be there. What should matter is how this relationship is going to benefit everybody in the society, irrespective of the status of the person. And that is what I will be very happy to see that it happens. So that maybe very soon I will change your name and give you a Ghanaian name. They will also change their names to a Ghanaian name so that you feel that you have come home. And that's what we are all waiting for. So let us make this happen. And the earlier, the sooner, the better. Thank you.
Thank you. For Akwaba, to Accra, and to Ghana, to Cape Coast. We are excited to have you here for this short ceremony. And let me add my voice to what the Omahine just said. And I believe you appreciate where he is coming from. As a traditional leader of this area, he is more interested and concerned about his people. And I was particularly excited that he touched on that. When Kelly and Nee, and I must first of all congratulate Mr. Kelly, because when they came to my office, the two of them, and we started these discussions, we didn't even know which city to partner with. But the discussions actually brought out the historical antecedents of New Orleans, and I said, no, no, then Cape Coast is it, because then if you are talking about a slave market where people can commemorate, congregate, and do things, you can easily link them to Cape Coast. So we chose Cape Coast and we introduced them to the mayor's office, and we are here today. I must first also congratulate you for being the first female to rise to this enviable position. Somehow, I'm very familiar with the politics of New Orleans and Louisiana, and I know it's not easy for a woman, more so a black woman, to be able to rise to this height. It's a very great achievement on your part, and we can only hope that someday you be elevated more to become either the governor of Louisiana or the senator of Louisiana. And let me say, when they introduce her as MP, it means she's representing a congressional district. And so we have two congressional districts in Cape Coast, and she's the congresswoman or the MP for one of the congressional districts, and also my colleague, deputy minister. The few things I want to say is that let's see this ceremony and this MOU as a further process that should deepen the bilateral relationship between our two countries, but more so the close relationship between the two cities of New Orleans and Cape Coast. So that at the end of the day, the question should be, how will this lead to the mutual benefit of the two peoples of these two great cities? These two cities have a lot to offer the world, not just the cities, in terms of the historical antecedents. And we can capitalize on this historical, antecedents. As a matter of fact, when we declared the year of return, there were those who were questioning, why should Ghana be celebrating slavery? Why should Ghana be doing this? But I think 12 months after the fact, people can see the essence of it. It demonstrates the resilience of the black, race, and that we are a very strong race that has so much to offer the world. And I think the president must be commended for actually taking the initiative. And since his pronouncement, I have traveled and met my colleague ministers all across Africa, and they envy him for taking the bold steps in declaring 2019 Year of Return Ghana. I think for this signing, it couldn't have happened at a better opportune time, because as the year of return comes to an end, just last Friday before your plane touched down, because after the ceremony I went and met with Kelly, the president declared the Beyond the Return. And the ministry has put together a 10-point project that I think this MOU will find space in. And the biggest things I will say is the areas of investment in various sectors that touches the people, as the Omahine was talking about. And so I will encourage the mayor to take hold of this document, the Beyond the Return project, and see how you can incorporate that into the MOU. I believe there will be space in the MOU to accommodate some of the bigger projects that we at the ministry and the government, under the leadership of His Excellency the President, want to take into 2020 and beyond, so that the next 10 years we will come back here and have results, and the Omahine will be pleased that he didn't just come to grace this occasion for nothing, but that we really mean business, and there will be results to show for it. Let me end my brief remarks, because this is a brief ceremony, by once again congratulating Kelly and Nee, and say that they have sacrificed a lot. Mr. Kelly has been with us since 2008. When he's been coming back and forth. And when we came into office and he came and introduced himself to the ministry, we've partnered with him to do projects. We are still building on a lot of them. I hope that being a citizen of New Orleans and linking New Orleans with Cape Coast, it will create a platform for him to also find space to push whatever projects that he wants to, undertake with the government of Ghana and the Ministry of Tourism. We look forward to the progress and success of this MOU. I am convinced that the very spirits that have brought you to this office, and for you to turn and look at where you came from and see how you can give back to Africa under the auspices of this MOU, that you will not disappoint your ancestors, and that the words of the Omahine will be with you even as you go back to the city of New Orleans to see how we can do this. And I must say, finally, that this should, and the mayor of Cape Coast should be, how will this MOU lead to the mutual benefits of the two cities? It shouldn't be a one-way street. It shouldn't be how can Cape Coast benefit from this MOU. It should also be how can this MOU and the relationship that we seek to forge benefit the good people of New Orleans, so that in the end we will all be happy and see this thing going forward. We have witnessed sister city relationship that has transformed and transmogrified into projects that you can't even imagine. The MOU is just a paper, but you don't know what the next 10 years, the next 20 years can bring. So we can only hope, and I was excited, about educational exchanges, economic, investment opportunities, and all of that. And so with these few words, I will once again congratulate you and hope that you enjoyed your short stay in our country. And so, Mr. Mayor, I'm just saying that your city was selected for good reasons. I could have taken it to Gushegu as a member of parliament, but I didn't see any historical, much as that. Yes, thank you. But I'm just saying. So please, let's take this and run with it, so that in the end, the Omahino will be happy, the people of Cape Coast will be happy, the people of Ghana will be happy, the people of New Orleans and Louisiana and the United States of America will be happy. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
As a member of parliament for Cape Coast North, I think it's a dream come true. And when I heard about this agreement, I was so excited, but I became even more excited when I realized that the mayor is also a woman. So there's so much that I can learn from you. Our politics are a little bit different, but I'm sure there's so many things that I can learn from you. So it's good to know that the mayor for New Orleans, the country which we are partnering with, the mayor is a woman. So thank you for such a wonderful opportunity. I was excited when you made mention of education as well as tourism. Cape Coast is considered the hub of tourism. There's no way you can come to Cape Coast without visiting, come to Ghana without visiting Cape Coast. We have the castles, we have the forts, we have beautiful people, beautiful food, good food, clothes. When you look at me, you can tell that we have good things in Cape Coast. So it's a very beautiful place. And we also have the most of the best schools in Cape Coast. We have in Fanspen, we have Wesley Girls. But sometimes, I decided. But sometimes, as a member of parliament, I get worried when Cape Coast is rated amongst the poorest regions in this country. Honestly, I just don't understand why, with all the potential that we have, we're still poor. I just can't understand. So with this kind of partnership, I just want, maybe from now to the next 5 years, I want to see that transformation. I want to hear a different story about Cape Coast. With this kind of partnership, I want to see that really Cape Coast is a hub, not just by just saying hub of tourism. How does it trickle down to the ordinary people, our mothers on the street, our market women? Yesterday, I was at the castle and I said, yeah, pretend, perfect idea. But how does it really trickle down? Because I want to feel it, not just in the south, in Cape Coast North. How does it trickle? Yeah. So that is what I want us to think about. whilst we are thinking about this partnership, how will it go down to the ordinary, Cape Coaster in quotes? How will they have the feel that indeed there's this, agreement between us and New Orleans? That is what I want us to also think about. And we are so grateful that this government has made education free at the senior high school. So now you just pick your bag and you are going to school. But my worry is at the basic level, because when the foundation is right, it becomes easier at the senior high school level. So whilst you are thinking about education, I would wish to entreat you to look at our basic schools, especially the public basic schools, because that is where there are so many challenges, when it comes to our basic schools. And that is where the attention must be and the focus, so that we can give them quality education. And of course, we can't talk about good quality education when we don't also look at, our teachers, able teachers. So whilst we're thinking about the partnership, maybe once a while, some of our teachers can also visit New Orleans just to, have a feel of your country and what they can also learn and then bring back home and impact in the lives of our people. And then they can also, with that same idea and then with that same, kind of, how do I call it, enthusiasm, they can also share some of the things that we are doing here as a country with your people as well. So I don't want to take too much, talk, because I'm supposed to be brief, and I'll be brief as much as possible. But it's really good to have you here. When we come to New Orleans, we want to have a feel of Ghana after signing this. So when we come, we want to see some of our fabric, beautiful clothes and fashion, beautiful food and other things. And when you come here, I don't know what your food is. I don't know what kind of clothes and all the things that you do there. But with this agreement, we also have to have a feel of New Orleans here in Cape Coast. So when people visit Cape Coast, something must tell them that indeed there is that kind of agreement. So thank you, and God bless you for partnering with Cape Coast.
I think this is a very historic occasion. I'm very happy to be here to witness this that is taking place, because truly we know that the empowerment of Africa and the lifting up of Africa will be done by African people ourselves. And that will happen because on both sides of the Atlantic, or wherever we find ourselves as African people, we commit to the real journey of empowering ourselves as African people, returning back the respect and the dignity that was taken away from us. Not only those Africans that were taken across the Atlantic, but when we were taken away from here, the dignity of Africans that were left home was taken away as well. So both of us are actually in the same situation, and it's going to take our united effort to bring us out of it. So this sister city signing and agreements that is being done here today, and those that are replicated in other places, is really just a symbol of our unity and the necessity of our unity in coming back. I'm sure that when the president announced the year of return, it wasn't just to announce a boost in tourism. It was about boosting the level of our mind and concept that we need to return back to the center of ourselves as African people and to put value on ourselves. And I'm happy that last week the president brought our minds to go beyond the year of return. And most of all, the diaspora dividend. That has been the missing dividend that will bring us into our new age and into an age of renaissance, of the reawakening of the African mind, the African genius, and the African excellence that will lift up Mother Africa. And it's only when Mother Africa is lifted up that we African people, wherever it is that we are dwelling, will also have our dignity restored. So I'm very happy to say that brief statement and to say that this ceremony that we're doing here, it may seem small, but I have high expectations that will have a very large impact on what will happen in our future.